which is what, that I'm Hotweazle. Like, what it, like, should we get to the bottom of what the fuck Hotweazle? I think he's from the past, isn't he? Isn't he like a time traveller? Hotweazle. Like, nobody knows who he is. He's a magician from the time of the Normans who's cast into the future by magic. Well, that's not even bad. With the help of two boys, he uses magic in an attempt to return to his own time. I bet he's the hero. Filmed with humour, warmth and charm, Hotweazle captured the imagination of children everywhere. He's the hero. He might look a bit kooky and weird, but really, he's the hero, isn't he? Hang on. I hope you don't mind. 20 minutes. Maybe we should watch an episode of Hotweazle. What time is it? 9:30. Yeah, okay. I'm going to watch an episode of Hotweazle. I know this sounds weird, but like, I think I'm going to find that I was being made to look good by mistake, if that makes sense. Audio. My guess, this is just a guess, is that Hotweazle is the goodie and is a good person and is the hero of the piece. And that despite maybe being a bit kooky, and I'll take that, that can be me. I'm happy with that. I will dress in modest clothes. I will have a dishevelled appearance. I'm not too worried about, you know, being, obviously I want to clean. Like, I want to, you know, don't want bacteria on my body, but no, I don't want stinky smellies, but like, you know, having a bit of mud on me, getting a bit rough and ready, not a problem. In tune with nature, smoking dope, yeah. Like fighting for justice, fighting for good, a magician, of all things. Of course, I love God. All praise be to God. Alhamdulillah, subhanahu wa ta'ala. All praise be to God, right? So I'm not going to be doing any black magic, but I think I'm actually being portrayed as the hero of the piece here. And what this will say to me, because I don't know what Hotweazle is, but Eddie does. And this is something in Eddie's soul that he's decided to resonate with me and put up forward. So what does it say about me, really, if I'm not a villain, if I'm actually a hero? Is it says that Eddie really, I mean, I don't know because I haven't watched this yet, but Eddie secretly admires me, is what I would say. There's two little boys in the piece that Hotweazle's going to help, I just learned. And that Eddie would have watched this when he was a child, and he had a brother, twin, was it? So two little boys, Eddie watching it when he was a kid, he would look at Hotweazle. Would he look at him like I looked at Wurzel Gummidge as sometimes funny but sometimes strange? You know, I was a bit scared of Wurzel Gummidge. I liked Aunt Sally, but I don't know how he would have looked at Hotweazle. But if Hotweazle was the hero of the piece and a benevolent force, misunderstood, then that's what he thinks about me, and I'm a good person. So this will be funny if it turns out that they've self-owned again, because my trolls do like to self-own. That's one of their favourite things. They like to make themselves look bad by being stupid and making me look good by mistake. Because it's not hard, because they're trying to make me look bad, but that's fake. So I end up looking like myself and looking good. And God being on my side will, like, push the luck in my favour, if you know what I mean. Like, this was one of those things, I think. Look, there's even crosses on the shields. I think I'm in the camp of, like, I'm protected by guardian angels, and my enemies are bad people who are doing bad things, and I'm going to win. Sorry, that's me being paranoid. Okay, so I get it. He's been knocked through time somehow. Jeffrey Baildon as Hotweazle. I'm going to have to skip this because it'll be the, if anything, going to be copyright, it'll be the music, won't it? But let's just see what's going on. I looked at this briefly before when he called me Hotweazle, and I was like, what the fuck's Hotweazle? But I didn't look into it any deeper, but it's actually worth looking into deeper. In the same way as Torchy the Battery Boy was thrown at me, and Torchy the Battery Boy is a character who illuminates, is a hero, is able to shine light on a topic. All the things Alan was jealous of me being with the Nicola Bulley case. Alan wished he could have gone around shining light on things, so he called me Torchy because I was able to do things he wasn't, in a sort of superhero next level sort of way, which is what Torchy was portrayed as when he was a boy. No, Ed. But the truth is that Eddie's done this. Okay, it's just a character. It just looks dirty. But you could have picked, I don't know, like you could have picked, they'll have me out as this guy now because it's a good face swap as well, watch. You could have picked Nick Cotton off EastEnders or Mark out of EastEnders. Well, no, Mark's just had AIDS, he's not a bad person. But you know what I mean? You could have picked someone like bad, like an inherent villain to portray me as. But what Eddie's done is he's picked the characteristic which is superficial, have a wash. I'm going to guess they give him a scrub up in this. Classic time traveller. He's all dirty and funny hair. Let's give him a brush and scrub up, and then let's put him in normal clothes, and he doesn't quite fit in, but he, you know, and all that sort of business. It's superficial stuff that I can easily fix by having a shower. It's not a core component of my soul. I think this speaks volumes. I think subconscious behaviour. I think, you know, this is what psychology is. So yeah, I'm going to vibe with this all the way this way. You don't have to believe me and agree with me. That's fine. But I'm going to put that hat on when I look at this, because that's what I think this tells me. Yeah. He could have picked something relevant, but of course the Eurovision, you know, it's the same tone, isn't it? Eddie doesn't have anything relevant because he's been absent from our society for seemingly 20, 30 years, like he's been in prison or something.
Hemlock and roseberry.
Herb's cool. I smoke weed, but he's got a wisdom, a knowledge about the land and the earth. He's in tune with the world around him, and he has that wisdom to be knowing what he's looking for. Hemlock, you don't know what hemlock and roseberry are, do you? You just walk around the woods not knowing what's going on. He knows what's going on. He sees things on another level that you don't. You just see a plant, he sees hemlock and roseberry. He's wise. He's actually quite good looking as well, isn't he? He's got that, you know, excessive beard on him and the overgrown hair, but he's quite a good looking fellow as well. He looks a bit like me. Look, we look a bit like each other there. I don't have a big wispy beard and funny grey hair like that, like cut into a page boy, but you know, I've got quite a big nose. Like, ergo, he's good looking. There's an owl, a symbol of wisdom. That's what the owl is used for here, is to give you a subtle, again, subconscious, but a symbol of wisdom. That's what the directors put it in there for.
Bird of night, hoot not. Feathered omen, hoot not. Son of Tanit, hoot not.
And he's in tune with nature. He's telling he's telling the owl. He can understand what the owls are saying. You don't know what the owls are saying.
Stone deaf.
But that's a subtle one as well. I don't think the owl. Oh no, wait, is this the past? Because I thought I was going to say the owl's not stone deaf. He just doesn't understand ye olde English. But no, this is still the past. We haven't moved through time yet. They're all on horses. They're all armed. They're like the elite guards, aren't they? The elitists. Bad, like, this is the equivalent of the Stasi, the Nazis, the social police, Peter Folding breaking up the protests. This is the bad people. He's all right, he is. He just wants to go and do his chilling. Like, he's got his handful of herbs. Check it out. He's got a cool cave.
Now I have all.
I mean, this is the past. It's like medieval times, isn't it? So they're not expected to have like a, you know, 2 up, 2 down. He's got a cool cave.
Thanks be to Hecate.
I'd prefer it if he was a bit more, what's the word? Like, I don't like the idea of the black magic being brought into this. Bearing in mind, I'm going to try and identify with the Hotweazle character and claim him to be a positive. Like, if he turns out to be a bad magician doing nasty black magic like a bad magician, you know, eye of newt, leg of toad and all that, then maybe I'm going to have to veer away from that aspect of it. But is that the Crow Man? This is Hotweazle. Oh, he's not killed the frog, he's moved the frog, so he's alright. He's got a skull, but it's not like, he's an ambiguous character here, isn't it? Like, magic is power, it requires wisdom, and you saw the frog and you thought, oh, is he going to, you know, chop it up and put it in the pot? But no, he just moved it aside kindly, so maybe there's this ambiguous aspect of it. Again, wisdom, books, knowledge.
I touch wood. Ill luck, ill luck.
And he's telling the toad, don't look you. So that's his friend, the toad, it's his pet.
I fear the owl who hoots by day as I fear water. to conjure the spirits of the air, that they may lift thee up and let thee fly as the birds of the air do. Hemlock, foxgloves, henbane, marigold. 'Tis good.
'Tis good. So he's doing some bad magic though, some bad juju.
Vesticam consolatio veni ad
He knows Latin. So sempre in excremento sumus sed alto variat. I know Latin.
Veni ad me vertat.
Vertat. He's alright, this Hotweazle.
I'll feed thee anon, Whistlegut.
I'll feed thee anon. I actually use the word anon in my actual life. I do sometimes say to my friends, I'll see you anon. And they know what I mean because we're all educated people. You know, I live in Shakespeare Town. Eddie likes me. Hotweazle's his hero. Like when he was a little boy going through his hard times, he probably watched this and had a bit of escapism, didn't he? He probably thought, you know, what it'd be like to live in Hotweazle world. Oh, I wish Hotweazle was my dad. You know, stuff like that. Big up Star Ace. 12-year-old Forrester's son, Benny, discovers the oddball magician Hotweazle in his cellar, who has accidentally catapulted himself from the 11th century to the present day. Together the two embark on an adventurous mission to retrieve Hotweazle's magic wand. There's no definite, like, sense of ethics there, is there? It doesn't state that Hotweazle's the goodie, but it seems like he has a bond with the young lad. Like, in terms of television, it would be that, obviously, Hotweazle's a fantastic figure. No one really lives in anyone's cellar, and no one really comes from the past and all this business. But when you're a kid, the idea that you might have a special friend that lived in a cellar, that you could, like, you know, a secret friend, and you were helping them, and, like, you know, a special bond, that's for somebody who's quite lonely when they're a kid, isn't it? Like, when I was a kid, I used to have friends, and I used to share the toys and the games and the fun and the watching the telly with them. I didn't necessarily fantasize about having my own secret private friend off a TV show. Stuart Lee did a really interesting analysis of the difference between television for young people in this era and television of our era.
I'll just round the village, show you the sights.
It's interesting looking at the different challenges that face the children in these programmes. In The Changes, for example, Nikki has to find her way alone through a Britain that is in a kind of apocalyptic meltdown. And in Skins, Sid has to go and try and get some dope from a dope dealer in a brothel so that he can get a girl so catastrophically spliffed up that she'll have sex with him without realising who he is.
That's the line.
That is in a kind of apocalyptic, the different challenges that face the children in these programmes. In The Changes, for example, Nikki has to find her way alone through a Britain that is in a kind of apocalyptic meltdown. And in Skins, Sid has to go and try and get some dope from a dope dealer in a brothel so that he can get a girl so catastrophically spliffed up that she'll have sex with him without realising who he is. I'm really glad I'm not a teenager watching TV for teenagers now, because I would feel really left out by something like Skins. But there was something really comforting for, like, nerds and weirdos about things like Children of the Stones and The Changes, things that make you feel less alone. And that's a really great thing that art can do, whereas I think something like Skins would make me, as a teenager, feel more alone.
Okay, so that was Stuart Lee explaining about how television from this era helped children to feel less alone in a confusing world, and we've moved beyond that. And I didn't need to feel like in this way, this connection with these things. Eddie might have done. That's why he's leaned on Hotweazle. There's another thing we've drawn out of this is a piece about loneliness, and that's what's been levelled at me a lot, is this idea about loneliness. So.
Darmy, Adonai. Why do I not fly? Nothing works. unto thee, salve, dalme, adone. Tenez-le sorcier. That's one. Switch-le, switch-le. Fools, Norman fools, I will lead their dance.
So he's under the cosh. He's smart. He's wily. He's under the cosh. Looks like the oppressive forces are trying to keep him down, and he's under the cosh. So he looks like the underdog in this situation. I don't know if portraying me as Catweazle is necessarily the insult that they think it is. I feel like we should get, if it wasn't, I mean, how long, the thing is, right, no one's going to know what this is, so it's hard to own the meme, because, like, no one knows what it is. Like, with this, like, we can make t-shirts and it's funny. Like, with this, I don't, like, people, even if I made a t-shirt of it, people in the pub are going to be like, who's that? It's Catweazle. It's Catweazle, isn't it? It looks a bit like me. I'm just going, oh, what the fuck? Like, so he just doesn't have it, but... Are they French? So they're invading forces as well. Like, he's local, what you call it? He's native, and I suppose we're going back to like the Norman conquest. So how did it go? It went Celts, Romans, Angles, Christians, Vikings, Normans, in that order. They're the people that invaded our isles. And all the time, people like him, he would have been an original Celt, I suppose. They literally got pushed out into places like Ireland, Wales, and got pushed out by the invading forces. And that's the story being told here. So he's like deep heritage, British, core to the bone. Again, like probably seen as like a positive core trait in this drama, in that like he is the person that knows the land, and you know, he's talking to Mr. Owl and Mr. Frog, and these are the bad invaders. So Angles and Saxons were Anglo-Saxons, weren't they? Angles. The original British people were the Celts, everyone else was an invader.
Save me, you spirits, bear me away, let me fly, salme, dalme, adone.
Okay, so he's asking for help from the spirits. I don't know if that counts as black magic, or, you know, is this pre-Christian maybe? So, you know, maybe there's no necessity for him to be Christian, but he's asking for the help of basically God, isn't he? You know, he jumped in the water and it didn't help. So he's funny as well. Oh, it did help. Look at that editing trick. I'll have to remember that one. Zoom in on the puddle, zoom out, you're somewhere else. Got it. Didn't even do a bang of magic. Probably the budget didn't stretch to that.
Touchwood, Touchwood, where art thou? I have flown. Great Spirit, I thank thee for my deliverance.
Okay, so he's disturbed by the modernity and the brutality of the vehicles. Like the loud volume, they painted it red as well, so like, you know, it's there like warning signs, isn't it? Big scaries. This will be our other protagonist, won't it? A good boy.
Von Trips, his name was. Drove for Ferrari, mostly. They don't make racing drivers like that anymore.
What time's programme?
9:30. Should be a good one, so don't miss it.
No, I won't. Hey, your telly's working again, then?
Yeah, but I got to come back here to watch it. Memory Lane's on the other channel, you see. Mum wouldn't miss that for anything.
Oh, I bet she wouldn't.
Don't forget then, Carrot. 9:30. They diced with death. See ya.
See ya.
You called him Carrot? You called him Carrot? Oh. In Terry Pratchett's volumes, in his works, Captain Carrot of the City Watch, who is a fine, fine gentleman. In fact, he should be king. They allude to, I don't want to spoil it for you, but in the early stories, he alludes to the idea that Carrot has this noble blood in him, but he ended up being brought up by a blacksmith. He's like the bastard son of the king. He gets brought up by a blacksmith. You know, he doesn't get brought up. It's like Game of Thrones when the one gets brought up by a blacksmith. I don't think he gets brought up by a black. Does Carrot get brought up by a blacksmith? No, he gets brought up by dwarves, doesn't he? So they obviously forge things in the dwarven. Anyway, like, he gets brought up by dwarves. He gets brought up by a different community, but he has this noble blood in him, and so it carries through in everything he does. And he's like a born leader and a good person. And the irony of the way Pratchett writes it is that when it comes to that final moment, Carrot has the opportunity to move from his position at the point he's not captain of the guard yet. He's still a sergeant in the guard or whatever. But he has the opportunity to sort of rise up and say, like, to take his mantle, so to speak, and to pull the sword from the stone, to speak, and say, no, I'm the rightful king, I'm going to take over. And because he's such a modest and good guy, he doesn't, and instead he just says, no, I'm happy with my lot, actually. I've got a lovely lady friend, and I'm happy helping the people in the guard, so I want to help society rather than be the king. Now, he doesn't, none of this is explicit, it's all subtext, but instead Carrot decides to serve instead, and because of his nobility, he rises through the ranks, he becomes captain, and eventually, like, quite an important member of the guard. And in the same way as the king would serve, he serves on the front line. He serves, like, by being a man of the people. He's very reminiscent of a Princess Diana type as well, Queen of Hearts, rather than, like, on the throne. And it's superbly written by Pratchett across several volumes. Guards is probably the first one, I think. But it goes all the way through his writing, all the way to his last volumes, his last books. You know, Carrot's character and journey. Yeah, so it's interesting to me that I didn't realise, you know, I always thought Carrot was a funny name. It's making me quite emotional, this is. I always thought Captain Carrot was a funny name, and Pratchett wrote it insofar as he was shaped like a carrot, like big broad shoulders down to smaller, you know, like an inverted triangle, like a carrot shaped. And also, I don't know if he had red hair or not, like, but to know that there's this character in fiction in this way, and Pratchett used to draw on, like, inspiration in loads of different ways and sort of stamp it in the book and say, like, you know, this is Leonardo da Vinci, Leonard de Querm, Machiavellian, or Prince Machiavelli is the patrician, but obviously they don't call him Machiavelli, and the characters can be combinations of different ideas, but in this here we have a character that's literally called Carrot. He's the good boy. That I don't know what age Terry Pratchett would have been when this would have been on the telly, like whether he would have been interested in it as a younger person or whether he was a bit older at that point. Hang on, when is Hotweazle? Hotweazle, 1970, and Terry Pratchett was 1948 to 2015, 48, 58, 68. He'd have been in his 20s, wouldn't he? Actually, 50, 60. So yeah, he'd have been in his 20s. But as a fantasy author, I suppose he was working in journalism at the time, a young aspiring journalist. But he did start writing his fantasy fiction at that sort of time as well. He started experimenting and writing that sort of stuff even in the early days. So I would expect he would have watched Hotweazle, but not as a young child with, like, you know, dreams, hopes, aspirations and taking this to heart necessarily. But I don't know if there's any translation in the idea that the character is... I'm just talking, you know, this is what I do on my streams. So I don't know if like, there's any relationship there. I've talked too long about it. It's boring. Sorry. It's well shot. You know, it's well directed, it's well shot. There's not a lot of dialogue here, but you're getting it all shown, not tell. And I love the point of view shots through the ladder and stuff. Like, it's really well shot.
Who the heck are you? Come on out.
It's interesting that he's not aggressive to the boy, is he? He's taking a position of subservience almost. Like, he's non-threatening.
Look, you've got to come out. You can't stay here. This is private property.
Art thou Norman?
No, my name's Edward.
March.
It's a cheeky little joke.
Oh, come on out, please.
I fear it.
What? Lulu? You're not afraid of a tractor, are you?
It roars like the damned. The earth trembles.
Noise can't hurt you. Now, come on out.
Oh, roar not, oh, magic chariot.
You all right?
It is monstrous, monstrous.
You're soaking wet.
Hast thou the power?
Stop fooling about. You're trespassing. If Dad finds you...
Canst thou command it?
Look, it's only a tractor. Come on.
Oh.
Hotweazle's funny. Like, he's got funny bones, hasn't he? Like, he's doing funny things and you laugh and you don't think, like, do you think what an arsehole Hotweazle is and, like, you know, fuck Hotweazle? Or do you think, funny Hotweazle's done something funny? Like, you like him, don't you? Turn that fucking tractor off. Why did I fucking tell you about revving the tractor in the shed? You'll get the fucking carbon monoxide poisoning again, you fucking idiot. Now get back in that house.
What on earth do you think you're doing?
What on earth do you think you're doing? Sorry, we're going for the Tory landowner form of farmer rather than the more rural traditional form of farmer that I was doing. I was doing the more rural traditional. We're doing Tory landowner. What on earth do you think you're doing? Stop revving that tractor and get out there and beat those pheasants out. My boy, if you don't beat the pheasants out, I'll have to shoot something and it'll be your arse for tea. Get out there and do the beating, young boy, young carrot top.
How many times have I told you about playing with the tractor? Now,
How many times have I told you about playing with the tractor?
leave it alone, otherwise no trip to London, all right?
Otherwise, no trip to London, all right? Right, now that I've dropped another little interesting bit of plot nugget, I'm about to leave and Hotweazle can quiz you about London. I'll be back in a minute. Okay, naughty boy? Just give me the keys. Why have you got the keys? Why are you leaving me the keys? If you're not supposed to be fucking about on the tractor, why has he got the keys? Get him off.
Sorry, Dad.
Sorry, Dad.
Sam's gone, has he?
Yes.
Sam's gone, has he? Had a good day on the farm, have we? I say, that dog doesn't like the barrel. Make sure you clean it out before you leave. Okay, I'll see you back up at the house.
People a rat.
A rat? No, it's a cat, a weasel, weasel, cat. Just please don't go in the barrel. Why was he defending him? Why didn't you just say to him, Dad, there's a man in the shed?
No rats, Dad.
Ooh,
It's weird that is, like, to defend, like, and protect. So it does tell me, again, like, Hotweazle the innocent, boy protecting, watching this as young boy, I identify with boy. I wish I could live on a farm. It'd be nice if my dad was well-spoken. I'll defend Hotweazle. Like, you know, this is Eddie character. I'm Hotweazle. And Hotweazle's like his benevolent friend who he wants to protect, and, like, you know, all the subtext, all the emotion that goes into it. There's no negativity at all. It's such a weird jibe at me. Is it simply that he thinks Hotweazle is dirty? Is that all it is? Because everything else works in my favour.
Ghastly smell. Smell?
What's that smell? When I was on the tractor, I shit myself. That's all, Dad. Always doing it. So anyway, I'll see you back up at the house. Okay. Make sure you don't shit yourself next time.
Like a dead cat.
Like a dead cat or a weasel.
See if you can track it down, Carrot. It's awful.
See if you can do it, Carrot. I told you. See if you can sort it out, Carrot. It's awful. I'm going back up the house. Spend some time in the barn hunting for whatever that smell is and eradicate it.
Dad.
Yes, Dad. What kind of fucking life are they living? Rural country life. He's knocking on the barrel now. Coast is clear.
Hey, starve, boy.
Shh. Oh, Dad's right. You smell horrible.
Told you, first mission is get him in the house, give him a scrub and bath up, isn't it? And dress him in more modern clothes, and then he'll be like, oh, what is this toothing brush you talk of? I see you have a magic box in your bathing room. Who is that man that is a clone of myself? It's just a mirror, Hotweazle. Oh, who is this? Wait. Look, wait, where's my fucking buttons? Who is this mirror? No, but what is... Oh, they knew what mirrors were, didn't they? Did you know what mirrors were? We had but polished metals. Who's... but polished metals. Who is in this looking glass? It's you, Hotweazle. In the looking glass. The water runneth from the bowl. It's a sink, Hotweazle. I could do Hotweazle all day long.
My belly cries out for food.
My belly cries out for food.
All right, I'll bring you some...
Hotweazle, Scottie Hotweazle.
Come on, Carrot.
Come on, Carrot. I've barely finished instructing the maid. You're not up to scratch with... You've not come up and washed your hands, Carrot. I've instructed the maid to forego your dinner.
Coming, Dad.
I'm coming, Dad.
Listen.
That's like... Don't tell me Eddie Landon Eddie didn't want to be this lad. Coming, Dad. I live in the country now, in a lovely house. Instead of getting all this abuse where I live... Instead of having all this horrible life I'm having, I live in this wonderful house. And this is where it starts, isn't it? And Hotweazle's my granddad. You're right, Eddie. I'll do some magic, make life feel better for you. Put this bag on your head. It's a magic bag. Put this bag on your head, you fucking... Shut up, Eddie.
Listen, it'll be dark in a couple of hours. I'll bring you something then.
Where am I?
Hexwood Farm.
Marsh Farm Hall.
Is it no...
Is it 2023? The year of the bullies?
to the Normans?
You want to fuck that Nicola Bully, you do? No, you do, Eddie. That's the point. You wouldn't fucking stop going on about it, you sick bastard. Bringing a name up and using it in all that sick ways, you sick bastard.
The Norman invaders.
I had to show you what you were like, you fucking dick.
Don't be potty. That was hundreds of years ago.
Hundreds of years ago? The history books have not yet been writ. Could it be? I am protruded forth through time. What are you talking about, Hotweazle? I am throneth through time to a new era. Who is the king these days? We have a queen now. She's called Elizabeth. A woman queen? How could it be? A woman queen? She's pretty good, you know. A woman as queen? I cannot see. You had women queens back then as well, you know. What about Boudica? Boudica? Boudica, you say? How do you know of great Boudica? She did run out the Romans before returneth to the hills. You're right, Hotweazle. Do you want some tea? The maid done me an extra portion. I wish I had a maid. I have to eat fucking dry bread and dripping.
Dripping, you say? What is this dripping you speak of?
Well, we're poor.
I'm poor, but I live with the fat of the land.
Do you want butter or guns? That's not this. I know. Running out of things to say, really.
1066. Now look, I've got.
Hotweazle and I remake, yeah. And this is I get into the BBC, right? They remake Hotweazle. I do the role. They think I'm so good. They do fucking Wurzel Gummidge as well. Everyone fucking loves it. I'm a character actor. I end up getting the job of fucking Graham Norton show or something like that. You know, I end up getting shifted in. Do you know how they do it on the BBC? They shift people around. I get shifted in. I do one show. I do Graham Norton show. And before you know it, I'm commentating over Eurovision while Eddie's in a care home cussing me out. And when we do the commentary, I say, oh, this entry reminds me of an old friend I used to know from my YouTube days. I bet he's still watching in the facility. And like, you know, he gets really eggy.
Hundreds of years.
If he could do it, I can do it, can't he? Because like, I'm not doing it any worse than him.
Hundreds of years. I left a bag of Trebor soft mints in my pocket. Will they still be in date?
I don't think it matters with mints, really.
I know. I once had a packet of extra strong mints and they were several years out of date, but I still ate of them.
You nearly forgot to do the 80th, didn't you? You forgot you were from the past then.
I did forgetteth that I was from the past, but if you add "th" at the end of most a thingeth, you'll get away with it.
Shut up, Hotweazle.
I'm coming, Dad. Hey, it's 900. Look.
Can you get any good skunk, young laddie?
I'll see you later.
I'll see you later, Hotweazle.
100 years.
Why, yes.
They just leave you in the barn. You know what, Dad? Can I have an extra plate of dinner? I've got a friend in the barn. I need a bun. Can I have a bun to take to my friend in the barn? Oh, it's too much for him. He's had to keep in the barrel. Look at this. This is what it reminds me of Johnny Briggs. They used to put. Do you remember Johnny Briggs? Used to have Johnny Briggs playing the trumpet, and they had a little set like this. And it was a bit more, but like, this is nice. This is Johnny Briggs was a bit more working class, urban. This is a bit more like cottage, country cottage. It's got it all, hasn't it? They've got the bread, the spread, the jam, the butter, the chairs. It looks like what you might expect people to live like if you read the Beano. Like, you know, Eddie would have loved this. He'd have wished he had these things. Packing it all up looked like a picnic for Hotweazle. Put the whole thing of butter in there. What's he going to do? Eat a fucking wedge of butter? Fruits, yeah.
What are these large greeneth fruits you speak of? Apples. Apples. Are they of Norman conquest?
Oh,
Sam?
Okay.
this is Sam, who works on the farm, so I don't know why you have to hide the food from him. This is your house.
Dad?
Where's your dad?
He's at the pub.
He's kind of threatening. This is a bit creepy.
Oh.
I'd have been more disappointed if I'd have been him. Happier being Hotweazle.
Well, you haven't forgotten, have you?
Haven't forgotten what? I'm not going to give you a kiss, mate.
What?
Well, 9:30. They diced with death.
Oh, he's here to watch the telly. We learned that earlier.
Yeah, but,
You just fucking do what you want. I'm just gonna be in the look. I know we had a date, but I'm just seeing another fella in the garage.
I'm sorry, Sam. I'm afraid I can't watch it with you.
I'm afraid I can't watch it with you.
No.
Why ever not? I can play all the roles. It's like he's fucking look. He's scary. It's that one. Don't hit me, you big scary farmhand.
Glue!
What do you mean glue?
On the carpet in my room. That's furious. I've got to get it cleared off before he gets back. You know how to switch it on.
Yeah, I think so. But Karen,
It's nearly 9:30.
Lock him in. He's told him he's going to be scraping glue off his carpet, and that's why he can't watch the telly with him. It's just contrived. It was all contrived. I don't know what to make of it. We'll move on. Is that lad supposed to be 12, is he? Like, how old was Edis when he watched this? It was 1970. When was Edis born? Because he lied about his age twice on the internet, didn't he? So we don't know exactly how old he is. But we assume that in relation to Nicola Bulley, didn't he say? Didn't he tell us in the interview? How old's Edis? Someone tell me how old he was in 1970. How old was Edis in 1970? Somebody, you do the maths in chat. Because I'm not doing them. Alexa, how old was Edis in 1970?
Prince Albert Victor died on the 14th of January 1892. He would have been 106 in 1970.
Alexa, stop.
Prince Albert Victor.
So Edis is one of the Illuminati Masons, and he's had the brain of Prince Albert Victor put in his head. So he died a long time ago, but now he's got his second wind in his second body, but he's made a fuck up of it, and he's in the home. 8, would he have been? 8, 1970. Well, then he'd have fucking loved this. This would have been right up his street. Run home from school, try and avoid all the people that are doing the bad things to him, hide in the room and watch this. Imagine that he was friends with Hotweazle. Like, why does he pick Hotweazle to defame? What, defame? Do you know what I mean? To, like, make me look bad. When it's actually a good thing. Like, he's, like, fucked in the head. Like, Eddie's fucked in the head.
You're still here.
Hey, boy.
I'll tell you something else as well. When he came into my stream and said all that weird shit about knowing Nicola Bulley in the past, and I said, you want to fuck Nicola Bulley, you do. Why don't you just get it off your chest? Like, anyone who cuts that out of context and makes me look bad with that, they're fucked in the head too. Like, they know it because they know they cut things out of context. They won't leave all the bits before and after and, like, you know, the full chunk of it, will they? They won't make it clear what I was talking about. Just little bits make me look bad. So
I need my witchcraft.
we're dealing with some proper fucking nutters again. It's never stopped, has it, on the internet? Do you know what I mean? Like, since what was the first nutter? Who was my first nutter? Do you think? Who was my first nutter? I mean, back in the ASMR days, there were a couple of, like, kind of different people, but I didn't have to socialise or, like, be in the social groups with them, really. Like, you know, I could just sort of do my own thing. I'm not really having to social. Like, it wasn't streaming back then. Do you know what I mean? It wasn't like that. There was Facebook groups and, like, there was the occasional event, but vegan. There was quite a few nutters, I suppose. I wonder who's my nuttiest nutter. It would really kick off with the Nicola Bulley stuff in Alan, and I suppose what's her name? Rustic Hedgehogs, Rustic Rachel, the Hedgehogs lady. Like, that was my first experience with someone on the internet that I thought was a normal person, and then they were like, fucking what? Yeah, I'm pretty sure that hedgehogs don't exist. And, like, that wasn't a tongue-in-cheek joke. She was actually meaning that. Like, I think, you know, whether people will agree with me or not, Eddie's attacks on me are not motivated by he doesn't like me. Are they, really? Because why does it matter? Like, there's loads of people he doesn't like. He doesn't like Vicky. He doesn't do loads of videos about her. Like, his attacks on me are not motivated because we did a song war. He was attacking me before that and I wasn't rising to it. I ignored him calling me a dopehead. I ignored him calling me unreliable and all these other things that he was saying. People were saying it to me. Eddie's supposed to be your friend. He's had a pop at you in his latest video. And I'm like, yeah, but forget that. Look at what he said about Trisha. That's awful. Look what he said about JJ Kane and the cancer. That's awful. Forget me. I'm a dopehead. It's not my... I don't even wave my flag. It doesn't matter. Let's defend these people who need defending. This is awful. Like... So, it looks like a willy behind me. What does? That's a sword. Oh, the picture. Sorry. That's his... Let's watch some more Hotweazle.
It's all right. It's all right. I switched it off.
I see again. Has lifted the curse.
What
The other day we had a picture of a fucking... Don't...
curse?
A great fire in the air.
Oh, that.
Didst thou conjure it?
Oh, I switched it on, if that's what you mean.
It's interesting because there's a power dynamic here. Hotweazle is the adult. You're watching this as a young boy, so adults live in the adult world. But here, Hotweazle has lost his power. He doesn't understand the world. He's made facile like a child. In fact, simple things like the lights scare him. So this man is his guide. This man, like this young lad, And so what, like, you know, the way Stuart Lee was analysing it earlier, what this is about is it's about being able to take control of your own life and, you know, move from the facile confusion of childhood into the more stable and responsible position of adulthood, isn't it? And we're poised betwixt the two as Carrot, helping an adult here, but also being told and pushed around by the other adults and having to, you know, stay in the childish fantasy world of I've got a wizard friend living in my shed. So, yeah, there's a lot of interesting aspects to that. Hotweazle, again, though, not being a villain, not being a bad person, in fact, emotionally vulnerable and... no, we haven't, ethically, we haven't really questioned him, have we? Like, he hasn't been questioned. We know he's running away from the bad people at the start. By being an underdog, by being a vulnerable person, the sentiment is lent towards him. But he could be a con master and a trickster, couldn't he? So, you know, I should reserve the idea that he's the good guy until I've finished watching it all. But at the moment, I think the subtext of calling me Hotweazle is that Eddie thinks of me as someone that's wise, kind, down to earth, maybe out of time. You know, some people sometimes say they've got an old head on his shoulders or whatever. I don't know whether I look younger or older than people think I am. Depends on whether I've had a shave or not. But step out of time. All these things about nature and, you know, the good bounty of nature and stuff, the understanding of the owl, the wisdom. Certainly wisdom's important. Yeah.
Now close your eyes and open them very slowly. You'll be all right. Ready? It's only electricity.
Master magician, let me serve thee.
What?
Tell me the secrets of this new magic.
Again, subservient.
Magic?
Eddie feels like he's better than me. Like, he's like, in this situation, Hotweazle is subservient all the time. Maybe Eddie would like to be in charge, in control, in the power position.
Teach me thy electricity.
I suppose when you're a kid, maybe this is not also, like, you know, I'm calling this as an adult perspective, but maybe this does look like quite a stupid adult. Like, you know, maybe they laugh at Hotweazle for being so stupid. Ha ha, stupid Hotweazle. Like, if you're a nasty person, you might laugh at him in a nasty way, mightn't you? You're not encouraged to here, but he's naive and he's uneducated and flawed in this way. So, again, the power dynamic is all in the hands of the young boy.
I may do it.
Do what?
Put the sun in a bottle.
He looks like Luke, this lad. Big up Eamon Holmes.
Carrot, the picture's gone funny.
He's upstairs, he's glued himself to his bedroom carpet. Okay, so this scene doesn't really... I understand what they're going for, but in today's day and age, it doesn't really carry it. It's a nice shot. You've balanced the shot well. I can see what's happening, but, like, you know, please let's move on. Editor. No, that's one too many. Don't do it again. Thank God. Don't cut to doing it again. Don't cut to doing it again. The light's going on and off in the... That's going to attract attention. Look. I suppose it's driving the plot along as a narrative device now, so fair enough. He's done it again and again. I'm seeing this too many times.
That's enough.
That's enough, old Hotweazle. What do you like, eh?
Wondrous.
Oh, here, some food.
My thumb's picking.
What?
Someone comes.
My thumbs are pricking. Someone comes.
I thought you were by the look of you when you turned that light on.
No, I don't mean my weenus. I mean someone approaches. I will hide this.
I'll also hide.
What are you up to?
He's so fucking bad at this. Same as Eddie, so transparently guilty when they're guilty. I'm good at spotting these chuffers, I tell you.
Okay.
Why aren't you watching the telly?
Oh, the picture's gone all wobbly.
I wouldn't. This is enough now. Please stop coming and standing so close to me. I don't like it. You're the scary farm man. You big scary farm man. Stop it.
Can you fix it?
Can you fix it? The telly. What's that bag of food though?
It's food. For the
It's
pigs
Luke.
tomorrow.
It's Big Luke. It's Little Luke and Big Luke.
Oh, rats will get it.
Well, I'll get it. I'll have that. I'll have that food.
I'll put it in the pig swill.
No.
I can't do it. I just make it worse. It'll only take you a couple of minutes.
He's going to put it in the pig swill and Hotweazle's going to have to eat it out of the pig swill. Chuffer. That's ruined that for Hotweazle.
Blooming annoying. I don't know. He's probably turning the wrong knob.
I probably turned the wrong knob. Yeah, and what did you do with the television? I told you I turned the wrong knob. Yeah, but what did you do with the television? What do you mean? It's a knob joke.
You bad person, you with your knob jokes. You took a joke too far, you did.
Facial workout. Facial workout.
Ooh, what is this looking through device I am seeing of?
It's a window, Hotweazle. You can't poke your head through it.
Is it a magic portal device? Use your cloaking device.
Ha 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 ha.
I didn't.
Use your cloaking device. I didn't think so.
Back to Hotweazle.
What is this portal device? Where is the cloaking device, master? You have the internal sun. It is often and oneth again.
All right.
4 minutes 36 seconds.
Oh no, Hotweazle. You can't be turning the light on and off in here. There'll be trouble. What are you doing?
What are you doing here?
What are you doing? That's the exact line. What are you doing? I'm here to audition for the part of Carrot. Okay, yeah. It's in the 1970s, so I'm going to be doing it in a woke, androgynous sort of, you know, could be a boy, could be a girl, androgynous. We don't want none of that wokeism here. It's the 1970s, thank you. Yeah, well, wait till you see my performance. You'll be like, when they watch it back in 2024, it'll be surprisingly androgynous, and you'll be like, you know, that could pass for also for a young. We read a really interesting book in school. Like, not the interesting books I suppose I read in school because we were forced to read them, weren't we, and discuss them in class. But what was it called? Fuck. Oh no, it wasn't actually. I didn't even read it in school. I just read it. It was I think we covered it in school in somewhere. We discussed it, or we did another story like it. Anyway, like the story I read was The Wasp Factory by Ian Banks. It's a very good book, and in it, it deals with a young child who's a hermaphrodite and has like complicated confusion about their own identity, and because of that, their parent has sort of taken them away from society a little bit, and so they have to sort of develop and come to terms with their own sense of who they are, and their own, I suppose you'd call it, self-stories about who they are and how to become themselves. It's a very interesting book, The Wasp Factory. And in that, the main character, obviously, is androgynous. Like, whether they're a boy or a girl is not really defined. Like, that's the whole point, I guess. And so in today's modern era, you might say, woke as it is, you know, a character that you can't definitely say is a boy could be a girl with short hair. Well, it's been going on since the 70s, look. I don't know, Hotweazle, what you did? Carrot, you're definitely a boy.
What are you doing here?
What are you doing here? But it's just the way you said that. Sounded like a middle-aged woman.
What are you doing here?
Not being, you know, I'm not being... It's weird, like, you know, obviously I say things and people, you know, obviously I'm very pro-LGBTQ plus and all that, aren't I? Had a bit of a comment to say about the gay boxers yesterday on Eurovision, but... like...
What are you doing here?
I starve.
Shh.
I starve, boy.
I starve, boy. The refrigerator I must be opening of it, and eating of the salamis within.
It's just act the shit out of that. Double takes all round, lad. Brilliant. That'll stop him getting in. The old chair up the handle trick from the Beano.
Have to be quick.
I'll have to be quick.
There's the bag. Just give him the bag and let him fuck off.
Bread.
Cold sausages.
Sausages.
Cheese.
Cheese.
Oh, it wasn't butter, it was cheese.
Cheese. I recognizeth the cheese. I will eateth of the cheese, for I recognizeth.
Aye.
Oh, that is sharpeth for cheddar. Is it... Is this Cathedral City or a non-name brand?
Oh, we only got it from Tesco.
Is this Aldi cheese?
Can somebody else put some things in chat so it doesn't say intersex above my head all the time? Thank you.
You're hungry, aren't you? Like some orange juice?
I know not.
I know not of the juice of an orange. I know of only the Duchess of Orange. And she hath come to invade.
Try some.
Try some.
I'm having a wonderful picnic.
When does the show end? He doesn't like that. He spat it out everywhere.
Don't stop trying to poison me.
And he's thrown it on the table. And this would, again, I think if you're a kid, this is like, whoa, Hotweazle's mad. Look at him doing stuff. You like him.
Demons to destroy these.
Fucking love Hotweazle, don't you, Eddie? You fucking love him. Why do you love me so much? In the song as well, right? Going back to Eddie's song, where's his song? I forget it. In the song, you know, it said it. It was going on about being in love and loving and being the biggest fan and stuff. Like, that was part of it as well. I think it's like a sort of like, I think Eddie might end up like being in love with me. I don't like it. I feel like this boy now, like, oh, we've changed. Forget it. Like Eddie is the strange man who wanted to watch the telly, and I'm forget it.
You're crackers.
Nick, I am Hotweazle.
I am Hotweazle.
He's his own, by admission, his own name, Hotweazle.
Hearken to me, young sorcerer. I come from the time when this land was conquered by William of Normandy.
Got it?
I believe you. Honestly.
You will tell no one.
Oh, no, I promise.
You must swear it by a damn cost.
So he thinks he's mad, but he's happy to still have him in his home and feed him his cheese. Funny characters.
A damn cuss. Hey, what's that?
It's a witch knife. Sacred to Hecate.
Looks like a butt plug to me.
Swear.
I swear.
Don't touch it.
I swear by the spirits of the brazen vessel.
I swear by the spirits.
I'm not going to say that just in case it's actual black magic, you know. Got to be careful these days. That's how they get you. Like black magic, bad juju, bad voodoo. Not going to be going near that myself. I had a little play with the tarot cards for fun, but Lord be my shepherd, I shall not want. Am I drinking a Coca-Cola from earlier, or is that from yesterday? Wait, there's one on the desk there that's still a bit full. See, my cup runneth over.
I swear by the spirits of the brazen vessel. What's that?
I've got an whole can of Coke that's half full from yesterday, so...
Will say nothing
That I will say nothing
of Hotweazle.
I will say nothing of Hotweazle.
Hotweazle.
'Tis well said.
'Tis well said. Now prepare for the bumming.
Sorry. I added that bit in. There's not going to be any of that. Even if he does hypnotised him, I should assume. Maybe there will be now, because this guy's looking like he's stomping in quite cross. The fucking telly ain't working, so we're going to be doing the bumming. Oh no, not again. Thank God the chair keeps him out.
Get in!
Hide! Where's he hid him? On the drive in front of the... Oh, come on.
The wheeled beast. It has spied me.
Hotweazle! Did he drop the cheese? Is he wasted all that cheese? You'd think he'd at least pocketed the cheddar. Do you know that scene in Trading Places with Dan Aykroyd and Eddie Murphy when Dan Aykroyd's doing the bad Santa? Well, he's having a bad day, isn't he? And he's dressed as Santa, and he gets the salmon from the buffet, and he puts the salmon in his pocket, and it goes in his beard. That's one of my favourite scenes in a movie.
What are you playing at?
We're trapped.
We're trapped. Hideth under the table, boy. I will magic us both away.
Where shall I go? I don't know. Where do you use it?
Well, if you could do the hypnotism on the boy, why did you do hypnotism over everyone?
I'll find a shed or something. Shed, yes.
A shed? What is this shed you speak of?
Look, we can't do this for everything, Hotweazle. You'll have to figure some things out for yourself.
Our little wooden huts. There's lots of them around behind the barn.
Can't you hear them talking? This guy. He's had to go around. Oh, this is his dad. He's back. I say. I finished burying the maid. For the night. I'll dig her up again in the morning so she can service us again. I've only buried her up to the chest. She'll be fine. We'll keep her warm overnight. I've left a bucket on her head. If you do need sandwiches, there's some cheese on the... Oh, what's happened to the cheese? I said the maid for this... I said for the maid to put this out for us. Looks like someone spat orange juice all over the table. I'll have to go and dig the maid up from her slumber. He's going to get in well trouble now. Surely you're going to get in massive trouble. You've trashed the kitchen. He's bursting. Blame him. I've had to trap him out of the kitchen, Dad. He's a scary motherfucker.
What the devil are you two up to?
Me, boss?
Me, boss? I wasn't trying to break into a room that was heavily barricaded by your son.
Well, Carrot.
Carrot, blame him, yeah, blame him. He looked like the instigator in all this.
How did that get broken?
What is it?
Well, you see, Dad, there was this old... This...
Oh, he literally can't... He wants to tell, he wants to grasp, but he can't. He was going to just come out with it. There was an old man, and he came in the house, and he broke something. I mean, his dad's not even going to buy that. As in, like, how did you smash this thing and spit all over the table? Oh, some random old man came in and did it. Oh, that's it. He's doing the imaginary friend again. The imaginary friend broke it. Now, I imagine Eddie had these problems at home. Like, you know, I'll take the belt to you, you naughty boy. Hotweazle did it. Hotweazle did it. There's no fucking Hotweazle around here. Bend over.
Now, don't make anything up. Just tell me.
And he can't. He wants to say it, but he can't because Hotweazle's done him the magic on him.
I can't. can't.
I can't. I slipped, sir. I want you to name Carlin. I want you to name Carlin.
What do you mean? Of course you can.
I want to, but...
Well, go on then.
Well, I'll tell you, Governor, I want to, but that John Wedger told me I wasn't to say anything, Governor. He said he'd drown me next time if I told anyone. I've got wrestling next week again. Oh, no.
I just can't.
Stop fooling about.
This sounds like, this is really bad because it's like literally, it looked like he was protecting himself from that man who'd broken in, and like, I'm joking about sex crime, right? But it looked like he was about to be the victim of one. If I was the father in this situation, I'd be getting a right egg on. I'd be like, look, people are going to have to start talking. And if they're not, I'm not going to get more frustrated and angry. I'd be upset inside and angry. I'd probably have that man outside and ask him a few questions and tell my son that you're all right. I'm not going to shout at you. You haven't done anything wrong. The table's all dishevelled and a mess. There's obviously been a problem. We'll talk about what the problem is when I get back. You've got some time to think about what it is you want to talk to me about, and I'm not going to be cross about any of it. You can always come to me with any of your problems. The man, on the other hand...
Good Lord, what's all this?
Supper.
Sometimes I think you're off your head. Just look at the mess.
I'm sorry, Dad.
I'll give you one last chance to explain, all right?
And there it is. It's him that's off his head, not Hotweazle. It's that little lad that's off his head.
Yes, Dad.
Now, what exactly have you been up to?
Well...
All right, if you're going
I love the way
to
I love the way all the magic is just stuff that you can just edit. You know, just, well, he can't speak, so he just goes, and that's it. Magic. There's no puff of magic or bang of magic or anything about it. It's just like, you know, Hotweazle became in the future. And how do we know he's gone from the past to the future? Well, he was in the bushes and the trees, and now he's in the pond. Like, it's just, there's no instant, like, you know, there's nothing out. It's just all simple editing. Anyone could pretend they were not able to talk. It's not special effects or nothing. This is the old days.
I just will go to bed.
It's even got real cheese.
Go to bed.
Go to bed. It's the end of the conversation.
No. Go to bed.
Go to bed. That's your life, isn't it, Edis? Go to bed. Except you had to sleep on the floor of the asylum. It's a bit of an awkward moment between them two. Out with it. He's got the cheese.
When I was in the army, we called that dumb insolence.
What? When I was in the army, we called that dumb insolence. What the fuck as he munches on the cheese? This guy's an idiot. Hotweazle with the tongue. Mr. Lover, Lover Man Hotweazle. He's just enjoying himself, isn't he, in the shed because of all the interesting tech that he's looking at. He's had some cheese. Oh, this one's not going to work, is it? Because it's not a light switch. Haha, funny funnies. Good joke. Don't overdo it.
Shine, tiny sun. Shine, tiny sun. Nothing worked. I have much to learn. On the morrow, I will ask the young sorcerer. He will teach me the new magic.
That's how they ended it. It's a bit of a cliffhanger, I suppose, but it's like that's tomorrow. I'll ask him how to turn the light on